People think that we're just limited to basketball, we're just limited to football and track. That's just not what it's like being an African American. We want to be included in the world just as much as anybody else.
St. Augustine's University was founded in 1867 by the Episcopal Church.
HBCUs primarily taught and educated blacks. I had a faculty member here who was passionate about cycling and saw a way for him to pull that into a program and make it happen. There's cycling clubs all over the country that have black riders, but there had never been a cycling team on an HBCU campus.
When he told me cycling as an idea, I said, I don't know if cycling fits the HBCU experience. Dr. Janice said, well, let's take a look at Major Taylor.
Major Taylor was an African-American cyclist, world record holder, and world champion back in the late 1800s.
And so when I looked at the history of Major Taylor, I said, oh man, this fits, this is it. This is perfect. Like, we can connect the history of HBCUs with the history of Major Taylor.
We quickly found out that there were no other HBCU teams in the country. So that's when we knew we had to do it. You couldn't make any assumptions. I mean, we literally were teaching basic balance and cornering, shifting, all those things that we as cyclists take for granted, we couldn't take for granted. We started with no equipment, virtually no experience outside of whatever riding that the students had done when they were kids.
First thing to start practice, you guys could do this as I'm talking for a minute here, is just go through and continue doing your bike checks. Make sure your wheels spin evenly, make sure your brakes work, make sure your headsets aren't loose. You can kind of clamp the wheel, front wheel between your legs and make sure nothing's loose.
I have clips on the bottom of my shoes. It's the first time I've ever knew what clips were, and trying to click onto your pedal.
Training is actually pretty difficult. I don't think people understand that when it comes to cycling, like, it's not just about pedaling. It's kind of tough, I'm not gonna lie.
I already knew how to ride a bike, but the bikes that we have, the wheels are skinnier and the handlebars are a little tighter.
There was a lot of things that we had to learn how to corner, which gear to use.
The majority of black kids would say, like, this is a white sport. Like, this isn't a sport that we tend to take up. Why not incorporate the first HBCU cycling team when you have a group of HBCU students who love to cycle?
I believe this team will change people's perspective on what African Americans are limited to.
The role of the team in the racial justice is more to bring diversity into the sport.
Everybody on the team is of African descent. We're changing people's mind about, racism. This could be revolutionary for sports in general.
I'm just glad to be a part of history and continuously make history for other people.
I feel as though I've been a trailblazer for some time. I've always been the one to want to take the first step.
The most important thing for us is showing that we can bring diversity to anything. That's how I see it, and that's the most important thing for me.